An interesting question I found from Marvin Jochen from the class of 2012. I quote, do you think widespread adoption of decentralized cryptocurrencies will affect the power of monetary policy tools? And if so, how? That is, of course, something that is relevant as well on a macro level.
I mean, at the end, it always comes down to what is the currency that's being accepted and what are goods priced in. For me, there's still a big stretch until things are going to get priced in Bitcoin. I'm not sure if we ever see this. I would be super surprised if we see it this decade in the 2020s. I just don't see that. So unless things don't get priced in the local fiat currency anymore, I mean, obviously there will always be a bit pressure from anything that's decentralized and offers an escape, just like gold. But again, then my question is, how does Bitcoin pressure a fiat currency more than gold did? Yes, gold is less efficient, and gold is not spendable digitally, and gold is not as divisible, and gold is confiscatable. But at the end, governments had this pressure to escape into digital, into any kind of other form of money for the past decades. So I'm not sure if Bitcoin adds additional pressure. I think it just adds pressure, but not additional in comparison to what gold already did.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. We have quite a few alumni in the banking sector, and so we have also quite a few who are wondering about the impact of crypto assets on commercial banks. Like, for example, a quote, how do you think adoption of decentralized cryptocurrencies will change the role of banks in society? Or a question from Lutz Lindner from the class of 96, do we need banks or other institutions to build trust and make crypto assets investable? Do we still need them?
I think what the role of banks is going to have to be is that really more of a service operator, less of a custodian, or less of a powerhouse in a sense that they own your money and you are basically hoping that they kind of release your money. And I think that's the trend that we're going to see. Without crypto, we're already seeing a trend towards digitization. We see a trend towards me not having to actually go to a physical branch, but me just opening an app, be it in Germany N26, be it Revolut in the UK, and so on and so on. We see these new banks coming up and kind of pressuring traditional banking already. The extra step that's just going to happen is that now, instead of the bank controlling the money, I control my own money. But what I need is, and this will not go away, I just don't see this, and the statistics speak for themselves. I think less than 5% of the population is actually capable of taking these financial matters completely into their own hands. There's so many kind of questionnaires that kind of ask, do you want to put matters into your own hand? And there's so many people, like 60-70% who tick, yes, I want to be in charge. But when it actually comes to having no customer support, actually having to deal with all this yourself, suddenly people are like, oh, no, like that's way too much for me. I need hand holding there. And that is where I see banks coming in. Banks will be less likely to be pressuring their customers simply because they have their money. And if you don't do what I say, like, we just limit access to your money. And it's going to go way more the direction of, okay, it's going to be like a mutual kind of respectful eye to eye. To me, it's really like when I work with traditional banks, it's like, it's my money, but I always feel like, my goodness, if I don't behave, you just lock my account. It's such a one-sided direction. I think, yeah, and in crypto, I just don't have that. And so to me, at the end, that's what the role of a bank over the next 10 years is probably going to evolve into. And I don't know, 80% of banks are not going to do it. They're going to go extinct, and 20% are going to do it. They're going to offer great investment services. They're going to offer they're going to move way much more to a service oriented model, and they're going to prosper and flourish.
Yeah, absolutely. And also on the other hand, as you say, it takes a deep leap of faith to really take matters in your own hands, and knowing that one wrong transaction and your funds are lost, basically.
Yeah.
So banks probably will have a role, but
you see it in the US. You see it in the US. The large banks in the US are starting to offer for their high net worth individuals all these services. You see it in Switzerland. Bitcoin Swiss is going this route. Austria and Germany, I don't know. I just am not aware that Austria, Germany, they're offering that in these countries, right? And so it's gonna happen. And yeah, and those banks that are gonna move fast, sure. Let's see.